Hey guys, so thanks for joining me live today for this webinar. It's going to be a good one. It is jam-packed with so much information and value. I think our team over delivered on this one, but I'm really excited for you guys to be able to take away all of these worksheets, all of these marketing plans, and then be able to use them to implement into your own businesses. So that way you can make the most and bring it home for 2024. So let's kind of dive in. I'm a few minutes late, so I apologize for that. We were having some tech difficulties, but we got those hammered out. And then also I noticed a wrong link for the presentation giveaways. So I wanted to make sure that we had those right so you guys could have them as soon as we entered into the webinar today, and you could actually take those with you as soon as it was over. Now, I did revamp our presentation for today, and the reason why I did that is because I didn't want you to feel like a deer in headlights. I want to make sure that when I give you this information, that you're going to be able to implement it into little chunks and not be overwhelmed. So it was very, very important to me that we revamped it. So what you're going to see is a full-on presentation for the next few weeks that I'm going to use. And I've broken up these webinars into micro webinars. So that way this Thursday, next Thursday, the following Thursday, you can have little chunks of the information. It'll give you the ability to digest that information and then take some action steps to implement some of those takeaways. And then the following week, be ready, notepad out, pen and paper, everything, to hit the ground running again, so we can kind of work together to make sure that you're implementing everything that I'm going to share with you today. Okay, sound good? If this sounds good, make sure that you're shooting some ones in the chat. We got 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right, awesome. That's what I like to see. So let's get started. So I am going to start sharing my screen right now. Awesome. So you guys can see my screen. You see an appointment on my screen right now, and then here is the presentation. So thanks again for joining me live. The whole concept of this webinar today is the fact that, people have these amazing New Year's resolutions that they hit the ground running with. They get super excited. And then come the mid-year, they start to fizzle out and they start to give up because they're thinking, oh man, I'm like way behind what I set myself up for at the beginning of this year. I'm never going to make it. So why even try? And that's not what I want for you guys. I want you guys to kind of get refreshed, rejuvenated, and then get back at it. So even though maybe the first 6 months of this year may not have been exactly what you planned or what you visualized back in January when you were setting up those goals, but it doesn't mean that you can't still land where you wanted to come December. So I want to try and give you the most value out of these upcoming webinars, so that way we can kind of refresh our mindset and start to plan more clear and concise goals that we can start to aim for going through the rest of the year. Does that sound good? Are you guys fired up? Because I am super, super fired up for you guys. I'm probably going to take like a 4-hour nap after this. So I'm going to start the slideshow. Any questions that you guys have, please save them for the end. I promise you 100% that I will get to those at the end of the webinar. But for now, I want to concentrate on the meat and making sure that I deliver this with the highest energy possible to you guys. So that way you guys are fired up for the next 1 to 2 weeks until we have our next webinar, and you can take some more action steps. Sound good? Give me those ones. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Yes, that's what I like to see. All right. So to set the tone or the agenda for today's webinar, I want to make sure that we go over exactly what we're going to talk about today, right? So we're going to try and set some clear goals and targets for the year. So probably similar to what you might have done in January, we're kind of going to backtrack and reset those goals for July through the end of the year. So that way we know exactly where we're at today and where we want to go. Okay, we're going to realign those with KPIs and tracking numbers so we can make sure that we're constantly trying to achieve the outcomes that we like to see. So those end results that we want. And we're going to map out our plan through our budget, our channels, and what's trending currently today as far as marketing is concerned. Okay. And this is going to allow us to set you up for massive success for the last part of 2024. So get ready. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Jennifer Kasmer. I've owned kind of a generalist agency since, I want to say I've been doing this since 2015. And then recently, about a year ago, I decided to go and work specifically with remodelers. And I don't know what it is about you guys. I absolutely love what you do. I love the quality of the work that you share with people. I love the way that you can kind of come into somebody's home and completely transform it into something that maybe they got tired of. Maybe they moved into a house that they wanted to have in a neighborhood, but it just wasn't what they needed or was functional for them and their family. I just love how you guys have the capability to completely transform the whole entire home from top to bottom and make it feel like somebody's, and make that family feel at home. Now, when I look at marketing for what I do for you guys, I look at it the same way, right? So my team and I start with the architecture or the blueprints when we're starting up with our strategy of how we're really going to attack your marketing goals. We want to make sure that when the blueprint or the build out of our design is all said and done, that we are actually 100% in alignment with what our clients asked us to do. So, and whether that be with paid advertising, whether that be with SEO for their current existing website, whether it's designing a website, or whether it's, trying to do an overall branding for them, we want to make sure that we're delivering. And the way we can make sure that we do that is by really starting out with a solid blueprint or architectural structure of the strategy, the marketing strategy overall. So obviously you can see this in front of you. I've got several checklists and magnets for you guys to use that you can, transition into your own businesses. I've also written a book called Remodeling Marketing Secrets. If you want that, hit me up after this webinar. I will be more than happy to send it to you. My team will fulfill on that for you. And we'll make sure that you get those goodies so that way you can start implementing some of those strategies into your business. And these are some of the testimonials and results that we've been able to achieve for many of our clients. Like we start out, people are hugely skeptical because they've worked with marketing agencies in the past. A lot of what we hear in our industry, and especially myself and my teammates, is the fact that, you've hired 3 to 5 maybe other agencies in the past that never delivered you with any calls, any leads, or the calls and the leads they did deliver you with were of low quality and you weren't able to close them because they were interested in more so micro repairs rather than a full-on remodeling job, right, or project. So these are just highlighting some of the testimonials and reviews that we've gotten from existing clients. And then also you can kind of see the results that we get at the bottom. We're constantly streamlining our strategy over time. And ever since, we've always been able to get our clients with their website design and development, as well as their pre-existing sites ranked within the top 10 on Google, not just for their website, but also within the map pack. And we kind of showcase that here. We're also able to really crank up those reviews. So prime example, I have somebody that I just shot out a review request campaign for earlier this morning, and they've already collected 15 reviews today. And because of that, we've been able to move them up in the map pack 5 spots just within the last few hours. So that's huge. And my team and I are very proud of that. And we're proud of the, freedom that we're able to give our clients. So let's really dive into the meat of this. Now that you know who I am and hopefully why you're here today. So when you started out in January, obviously you set clear goals. And if you didn't, we're going to go over that today. So don't worry about that. If you're not really sure what those clear goals might look like, we're going to define those at like the micro level. So that way you can make sure that you're always able to hit those goals each and every week, month, however you determine to set those. So what are your goals? Success is goals, all else is commentary. And that was actually said by Brian Tracy. Your success is constantly determined and defined by your goals. If you don't have any goals, then there's no success. Why? Because you haven't accomplished anything if you didn't set goals for yourself in order to deem them successful later once you've reached them. So, and what this means here is when you have goals and you're constantly aiming to achieve those goals, you've got wind in your sails, right? Your boat's moving, you're gliding, you're gaining momentum, you're getting faster and faster as you're moving forward, and your goals are becoming easier and easier to accomplish, right? But if you don't have any goals, there's no wind in your sail. So you're just a boat sitting in the middle of the lake, not going anywhere, just like a business with no goals. You're just kind of teetering back and forth on a teeter-totter. Maybe one month you have a $5,000 project, the next month is 10, the next month is, or the next week it's 4, and so on and so forth. You're never actually growing and scaling and performing at a higher capacity because you're not aiming for certain goals. Okay, which is it's okay if you don't have any goals, because again, like I said, we're going to go over those today. So now what I hope that you brought with you today is your average monthly revenue, your typical number of jobs that you do per month, and your other key metrics. So like your average ticket value, your average conversion when you're in the field, like what's your close rate? How many people out of 10 do you need to talk to in order to get 5 projects, or in order to close half of those? Or average conversion or number of contractors or crews to fulfill on those. What are those definitive numbers that you need to know in order to grow, right? And then for your long-term vision, it's important to know what you're hoping to achieve by the end of the year. What's your annual revenue? What's been the average in the past? And what are you wanting it to be this year? Or even next year? You determine how many years out you want to plan for. And then as you're moving through those goals, you're going to kind of tweak them and kind of redefine them every so often to make sure that you're still aiming to achieve them. Okay. So number of contractors, number of crews, what do you want that to look like after the course of the year or at the end of this year? Do you want separate crews for separate jobs? Do you want one crew for bathrooms or multiple crew for bathrooms? Do you want the same for kitchens, decks, flooring? What does that look like for your business? Now, when it comes to, and just know down here, this is the link that allows you to open up our planning worksheet. So if you didn't get that earlier before in our emails, or you didn't download it for whatever reason, you do have these that are actually defined right here at the bottom of the slides. And then when you open them up, there's a little Loom video here that's going to show you the best way to use this. And then it's going to show you how to come up with those numbers. Now, I don't want to go over those numbers for you guys today, because I know 100% we may have, gosh, how many am I seeing? We may have like 40, 50 people here today. But with that being said, all of you across the board are going to have completely different numbers. So I don't want to necessarily go over that with you today. And like I said, there is a Loom video right here that walks you through exactly how to determine those numbers. Now, I do want to hold you accountable though, because next week, like I said, this is going to be a series of webinars. So next week, we're going to deep dive into a little bit of what we're going to discuss today. So I want you to come ready with those numbers so we can kind of go over those a little bit more next week. So does that sound good? If that sounds good to you guys, say heck yeah in the chat. I'd love to know. Heck yeah. Let's go. I'm ready. I love it, you guys. I love it. That's what keeps me amped up and going throughout. So, okay. So make sure that you guys define those goals for yourself before next week. And if you're in our Facebook group, you can even go above and beyond. And then after this webinar tonight, or maybe tomorrow, you can actually share those with us in the Facebook group. Because you guys all collaborate with one another in it. So you might as well share your numbers and then lift each other up to make sure that you're all aiming for the same, which is growth. All right, and you can see the marketing budget calendar. Again, there's a Loom video that goes right with this that shows you exactly how to go through this to determine your marketing budget, what you can budget for marketing, if that varies throughout the year, how that's going to look like if you want to use certain platforms and not others, and so on and so forth. So now your marketing strategy. This is, after you've gotten your numbers all defined, the most important thing to spend your time on before you start to go live with any paid advertising, with any kind of like campaigns. You want to dial in the strategy to make sure that you are very clear on how you're going to be reaching those goals. Okay, so this is what we call our accelerated growth method. Okay, and I'm going to kind of fill these in real quick for you, because I want to make sure that once I go back here to my whiteboard, that you guys can see it here as well. So I'm going to stop the share, and I'm going to kind of show you, as far as a whiteboard is concerned, how this all works. So I'm just going to kind of move this up a little bit and then kind of change that lighting as so. And then I like to stand anyways. I get a little fired up when I stand, and it helps me keep that energy up and high for you guys. So, all right. How's that look? That looks good, and you guys can see exactly what's going on. Let me know. Good, 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 good. Awesome. I know you guys love that like circle right there, right? Gotcha. So as you can see on that one slide, you've got this part right here. This is the overall accelerated growth method. So you've got driving traffic, you've got maximizing your conversions, and then you've got optimized results. These are the three areas in your business that are the most important. So what this is now, organic and paid, if you don't know what that is, that's why I wanted to kind of do a bird's eye view. And actually, I'm going to go back to the slides because I'm worried that this is too fuzzy for you guys to really see. So when I was thinking about it and visualizing how it was all going to flow in my head, it just seemed to look a lot better. But I worry that it's kind of faded back there, and I want to make sure that you guys completely understand what I'm talking about and that there's no questions. So I'm going to go back to share and back to the presentation for you. So that way, let me see. Where did my window go? Interesting. Maybe I accidentally closed my, oh, there we go. So this is the accelerated growth method, what you're looking at here. Now you've got the section of driving leads. We've got the maximizing conversions over here, like I just said, and then we've got the optimized results. Now, in order to drive leads, and this is again why I wanted to kind of give you a bird's eye view, is that comes from traffic, right? Now, a lot of times people that we work with assume, they have tons of websites. Some of the people that we work with may have 3 or 4 websites, and they're all just really beautiful brochures that sit online that people have to be sent to in order to find them. And you wonder why that is and why you can't be found in search and why maybe some of your competitors are getting all the customers and all the projects and book jobs and stuff like that while you're suffering because you're only being able to rely on word of mouth and referrals. Well, that's because of this section right here, driving leads. Now, whether it be organic or paid advertising, you still need to be driving traffic in essence, which equals leads to places online where people can find out more about you and learn how to get in touch with you. If you're not doing that and you're invisible online, we can fix this. That's not a problem, and it is something that you can get dialed in rather quickly. But I want you to understand how important this is in order to make you put a fire under your butt to start doing it today, because it's very, very important if you're really wanting to grow your business and not only grow, but at an accelerated pace, right? So driving leads is going to consist of organic SEO, which a lot of times some of the people that we work with don't understand the difference between organic and not organic. Organic SEO is not paid advertising. So it's anything that you put online that doesn't have dollars behind it, right? So organic may consist of all of these different ways. So it's on-page SEO for your website, which includes like your main city, your services, all your meta title tags and descriptions need to be dialed in with that same information of your location and your services. You should have a Google My Business profile, which is in the map pack, right? So if I were to kind of escape out and show you by way of search, if I were to look up a remodeler near me, and I'm located in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, so I'm going to get Charlotte, North Carolina remodelers, I'm going to see one, this right here is local service ads. So they call them LSA ads. They're very affordable. And you can set your budget weekly for them. So if you don't want to spend more than $100 a week, you can do that. So you can kind of scale into them, but they're definitely worth having because they put you at the top of Google, right? Then you've got these, which are your map pack listings, right? So those are very local to where you live. And then down here are your websites. So these are those that have websites that are dialed in with location specific pages and services. So that way, when somebody in Charlotte, North Carolina puts in remodeler near me, then those are going to come up. Now, notice I did remodeler near me. Here's a little tip. Most of the consumers searching to have a remodeling project done they're not looking for a remodeler near them. They are looking for a kitchen or bathroom remodeler near them. So if I were to change this search, you'll notice that now different search results came up. So these are the LSA ads for kitchen remodeler. Let me do a side by side so you can see what just happened, right? GPS Home Concepts and Carolina Decks come up for remodeler near me. For kitchen remodeler, it comes up Dream Home or American Dream Home Remodeling and DeFabian Remodeling. Let me see if I can get rid of this. No, I can't. So, and I'm going to squeeze this over so you guys can see clearly a side by side, right? So now if I go down to the map pack listings, again, you're going to see a very different, you see Dream Home Builders and Remodelers is still #1 for both. And that's because, look, they have a profile that has kitchen remodeler. They have another profile that's bathroom remodeler, but it's because they have their Google business profile optimized in such a way that it has multiple services listed on it. So ProLux remodeling, and then you've got advanced kitchen and bath. So if you go down here again, you're going to notice, look, DeFabian came up for remodeler near me, but then Hopedale Builders comes up for kitchen. So that's what we mean by organic search results. These are all your organic, and you have 3 organic opportunities on just Google. You have organic opportunities on all your social media platforms, all your citation directory listings, and so on and so forth as well. But these 3 areas are areas that are prime real estate for you to be found in search when it comes to your organic listing. And you have the LSA, well, that's paid, I should say. So 2. You've got the map pack, which is free, and then you've got your website down here, which is also free. Okay. LSA would also be seen as paid. So excuse me for making that mistake. But anyways, next you have your paid advertising, right? So all of this is going to go along with that organic. If we go on to the next one, this is going to be from your paid, right? So your paid advertising could include your LSA ads, Google pay-per-click, Facebook advertising, which also includes Instagram, and so on and so forth. So it's whatever platforms you feel your audience to be following the most. 9 times out of 10, most of our clients are dealing with Facebook and Google pay-per-click ads. And the LSA ads. So, but you want to make sure that you know your numbers of what from that marketing budget that we talked about at the beginning in order to do the right spend on the platform itself. So that way, and then once you know those numbers, you want to know the return that you're getting. So that is to maximize your conversions, right? So when it comes to paid advertising, you've got your social ads like Facebook ads, TikTok, and YouTube. You've got your paid directories like Bing, Yahoo, Yelp, Facebook, like all of those that you can also do paid. You've got paid search, those LSA ads or local service ads, as well as Google pay-per-click. And then you've got the foundation of your organic at the bottom. This allows you to brand yourself overall everywhere online and completely saturate it. So that way, when somebody's looking for a remodeler near me, all of a sudden they see you here, they see you here, they see you here. I know you've heard this before, but it still works today as it did in the past. 7 touch points is needed in order for somebody to start knowing and understanding your brand. So, you know, you may be out in the field with your trucks, you know, your crews are on site in shirts. You've got all your social media dialed in with consistent branding. You've got your Google website, you've got your LSA ads, you got your map pack listing. All of this is showing consistent information when people are searching for or thinking about a remodeling project. And again, that major tip that I gave you was gold at the beginning. People don't search for remodeler near me. They search for kitchen remodeler near me or bathroom remodeler near me. Those are the two most widely searched keywords when it comes to my remodelers that I work with. And we do all the keyword research on the front end to know that prior to doing anything on the back end with their ads, their websites, rewriting their content and things like that. So that's gold. Now, when it comes to pay-per-click, we hear this all the time. Well, I've paid agency after agency after agency, or I've ran my own pay-per-click. Why they fail? Well, you want to set up multiple ad groups. And I'm not going to deep dive again into this because I'm giving you a lot of nuggets in one webinar right now, but I want to kind of just touch over it so you better understand. Usually they set up only one ad group, and there's a big fail because they don't use specific text ads and landing pages for those groups that are specific to those keywords, right? And then they're missing a strong call to action that goes along with those specific keywords. Okay, so all of these, again, are just numbers and touch points that I will deep dive with you later. But it's important that whoever you work with, or if you have somebody in-house, that there's a dashboard that they're kind of overseeing the KPIs related to each one of the platforms that goes along with how many leads are coming in, how many people have shown up for their estimates, how many times have they, have the crew members or the estimators gone out to the jobs and been able to close? What's the closing ratio? Things like that. Because if you don't know those numbers, you can't improve those numbers. So meaning if your estimators or your sales guys go out and you don't know that they're closing or not closing at a high rate and they're only closing at a 20%, you don't even know to better train them, nor do you know how long they've only been at 20% or how long you should continue paying them if they're not willing to train up to increase that percentage of closes, right? So that's all super important when it comes to owning your business. But a lot of times, some of the people that we work with are still working so much within their business that it doesn't allow them that oversight or that overview to kind of manage those numbers properly. So we're wanting to make sure within the webinar to up level or level up your game. So that way you're thinking about it, right? Because each week when we do another webinar, you're going to take a little something. You're going to take some nuggets with you and you're going to implement and take action each and every week. So, and that allows you at the bottom to optimize your results, right? So you've got your drive traffic, you've got your maximizing your conversions from that traffic, whether it be organic or paid, and then you've got optimizing your results. So I'm going to go through these rather quickly because I know that we're running out of time and I want to make sure that I'm very time aware for you guys. So 12 elements that you really need to have dialed in to get those conversions or enhance those conversions is to really understand the pain points of the people that you're serving, because it'll allow you to really use that in your content. So, and your branding, is it the fact that you pride yourselves on making sure that they get a call back after they've reached out within just a couple of minutes? Is it the fact that your crew cleans up every single day of the project? Because projects can sometimes be lengthy, overhaul of an entire kitchen includes flooring, countertops, cabinets, electric, plumbing. There's a lot of moving parts that go into just a kitchen remodel. And so you need to know and understand what are the pain points that you can really sell or have somebody think about in your unique selling proposition that will persuade them to want to move forward with you. That's important. You want to use authentic images of before afters of projects that you've done or people that you've worked with. You want to sprinkle those throughout all of your content. You want to make sure that perhaps your website doesn't have a face to put with the name of your company, or perhaps you're family owned, which is huge when somebody's thinking about doing business with you, because it really helps you to gain that like, know, and trust factor in a very fast way. So maybe you want to pop a photo of your family members, you and your kids, and how you all take part in, the business in some way. Videos for your services, leveraging social proof. All of these is really important to make sure that you're converting at a very high action or at a very high rate. And that when somebody pops on your website, they're just not popping off. Or when somebody pops on your website, they're not going to social media icons that immediately take them off your site. So you want to squeeze every last lead that comes onto your website by making sure that there's all these conversion elements to have them take the next step with you, whether it be filling out a form or having a click to call button so they can easily call you while they're mobile, rather than just putting your phone number on there, where then they have to transpose the phone number from the website to their phone, and then it makes it really hard for them because they're driving. These are all really important factors that you need to think about. And if you have a marketer that you're working with, if they're not doing, then you may need to rethink those marketing dollars that you're spending with them, or have a conversation with them about how important it is to you. So just like this kind of includes all of those elements that we talked about on the last slide. So, and how is your website performance? What does all of that look like for you, right? So this is very, very important to get dialed in. So that way, when you're spending money or you're doing all these things to make sure that people can see you organically, that when they actually pop onto your website, that your website is set up in the right way to convert it. Otherwise, it's lost ad spend, as well as it's lost time on your organic marketing. So, and then when they finally do find you and search, and you've kind of saturated the entire online internet with information, and you come up properly in search results, what are they seeing about you? Are they finding reviews, or are they seeing that out of all of the competition, your review lists? This is super, super important, because you're never going to be found by yourself. You're going to be found next to a bunch of competitors. So you can see, like, this one's got 20, this one's got 13, this one's got 11. That's why these guys are high in the map pack. But I'm sure there's a bunch of remodeling projects that they've done that they haven't requested a review from. And that's where you can really set yourself apart from your competitors. If this guy had 75 and the other two have 13 and 11, you're going to look at it in a much different light, right? So I'll kind of show you an example of this right here. You can see this person, which obviously I manage that profile, has 141 reviews against 51 or 20. So when somebody comes up to these listings, who do you think they're going to call first? And who do you think they're going to be most apt to wait on hearing back from? This guy, right? Because they've got 3 times as much of reviews as the next person. And they've got, I don't even know, 7 times the amount of reviews as this person. So, and then what helps with that authority is the fact that when you look, they come up number 2 in search results again for their website. And then you can also see in LSA ads, they come up number 1 for those as well. And that's all branding and showing that authority over and over and over again, right? So let me get back to the slide. There we go. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much for staying with me. This has been awesome. I'm going to try and go through the next little bit of information with you because we've already gone over this, right? I just went over this with you. So you get exactly what we're talking about. And I want to make sure that we go deeper dive into like the lead flow and leveraging your marketing automations and stuff like that to really maximize those conversions. But again, I want you to understand what it means to drive traffic and what those platforms look like, what it means to maximize your conversions, and the upper level of how you can do that with your reputation, your website, and your automations, and then how to optimize your results by knowing your numbers, right? So this is just shows you exactly all the automations that go out when somebody lands on a website, fills out a form. They get all of these emails and text message follow-ups to make sure that you're absolutely able to convert those leads into a sale, or at least convert them into a booked call or an estimate. So you can go out there and show them exactly what you can do, have a conversation with them. And then here's our marketing budget planner. So that way, when you get to the point of really seeing what your cost per lead and your cost per click and your cost per acquisition is, you can kind of tweak those marketing dollars. You know when to scale and put more money in. You know how much you're going to get back. You can plan for that, but you've got to start with a plan, right? So, and even if your plan is not happening like you expected it to at the beginning of the year, you can still reset, replan, and start to move forward in a way that you're actually trying to aim and accomplish those goals. So we've gone over a lot today. I'm not going to go through any more because next week I'm going to deep dive into driving traffic and what the organic versus the paid really looks like and how you can drive that traffic in the fastest way and the most efficient way possible to get the most conversions, leads, and sales in your business. And then after that, we're going to deep dive the following week into the best ways to maximize your conversions through your website, through your reputation, and so on and so forth. And then in the following week after that, so it's going to be a series of 4. Plan out your weeks. Every Thursday, it's going to be at 2 o'clock. And we're just going to go and we're going to make sure that we're over delivering you guys with value. When you come back the following week, we're going to hold you guys accountable for bringing back those numbers for next week and so on and so forth. And we're going to try and keep moving that needle in your business and keeping that wind in your sales. So that way, come the end of the year, if you're not where you're at, where you wanted to be, when you planned out your year in January and you're nowhere near hitting your goals today, that we're going to reset that. And maybe after this week, once you plan out your numbers, come December, you've completely 180'd your business and turn it around. And now you're hitting numbers that might even be better than the original goals that you set forth for yourself. So, and we're going to be there each and every week to try and push you, motivate you to make that happen. What do you guys think? Give me a let's go in the chat. If you're still fired up, you're still ready to come back next week, you're going to roll up your sleeves. Perhaps it's warm out where you're at, and you're going to pop off your cap and give me about an hour of your time so we can try and work on your business together. So that way we can really, really triple your sales throughout the end of this year within those next upcoming months. And perhaps because we do it so well with you guys, you're going to have to start turning away the smaller projects and taking only the larger ones, because it's going to start making more sense for you and your crew members, and you don't have time to waste anymore on the smaller stuff. That's what I want to see for you, and that's what I'm planning to help you achieve through the last 6 months of this year. So let's go. I will see you guys next Thursday. Thanks for joining me today. And I can't wait to see you. If you want to reach out to me, it's remodelingmarketingexperts.com. That's our website. And you can sign up for a free strategy session or lead flow acceleration session where we deep dive and audit all of your marketing assets that you have today, and give you a clear-cut game plan by the end of that call. It's literally, we usually charge about $250, but because you were here with me today, we're going to go ahead and allow you guys to take advantage of that for free. And I promise you, it will be worth $250 that you are getting for free during that call, because we deep dive through every little nook and cranny and then give you actionable steps to do right after the call to make changes and updates. So that way you can start increasing in the rankings, you can start increasing organic. If you have paid going, we can give you some hints and tips and tricks on how to increase your return on ad spend and things like that. So thank you so much. My name is Jennifer, and I will see you next week.